Today, the moon continues in Leo and goes into Virgo midday, just around a little bit after 11 a.m. Pacific time. So, with that shift of the moon into Virgo, we shift into getting things done mode from the energy of Leo splashing the paint on the canvas to the energy of Virgo rolling up your sleeves and tweaking those splashes to make them look right. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Thursday, October 16th. And with that moon entering Virgo, it also forms a square. It moves through that because the moon keeps moving, right? So it moves through that square, 90 degrees of separation from Uranus, and also a YOD to Pluto and Neptune. So because all those outer planets are in those early degrees of Aquarius, Aries, and Gemini. So geometrically, when a planet activates one of them, it activates them all. And so also, of course, Venus still in that grand trine, although it is now moving out further from exact, away from the exact grand trine. And actually, it's a kite, not just a grand trine, but a little triangle on top of the big triangle, making a kite formation. So as and that, again, puts wind in the sails of whatever we are putting our cares and thoughts and intentions into. So, remember to shift any negative thinking from challenge to possibility. Reframe any negative thoughts. It's not about not having negative thoughts because there's also everything is balanced, right? We need to be realistic about what we're dealing with, but we also want to see things, frame it in terms of possibilities and solutions and the creative thinking of that Leo moon energy. So, but once the moon shifts into Virgo, and we have a little bit more of a vibe of what do we need to do? How do we get this right? So think about splashing that paint on the canvas and then the need to look at it with a critical eye and ask, is that the right placement? Does that need a little bit more of this or a little bit less of that? How can I fix it? How can I make it even better? And so that's the Virgo energy. So as the moon steps into Virgo, forming a yod and a square with those outer planets, it moves through that point. And as it does, it brings in some energy of, again, what do you need to do to get this right? So it emphasizes that Virgo energy, but with extra emphasis. And in a square to Uranus, it's also saying um, what is being shaken up? Where do you need to open your mind to again see possibilities, see solutions, reframe challenges in terms of possibilities? Because the fact is we don't know what the future holds, right? So how can we think about it and engage with it in a creative process to try to steer things the way we want to go? And of course, we know um, with Neptune and Aries that we're fighting those battles and we don't win them all, right? Same way that a toddler learning to walk doesn't always stay upright, right? Falls down, that's part of the learning curve, but eventually that toddler, in most cases, learns how to walk. And then when we're thinking about the battles, we don't win every battle. We don't succeed at everything we tried. We don't, every risk doesn't pan out in a positive way. But when we think of those as little action steps along the journey, battles fought for the bigger cause, for the bigger purpose, for the bigger vision of change, of healing, of bringing in a positive result. And when we focus on that bigger picture, what it is we want, why we are doing this, it doesn't matter whether we lose one battle or we fall down one time, because we're going to get up and we're going to do it again and we're going to keep going. And that is the energy of success. That is the energy of winning. So, well, whoever needed that pep talk today, I don't know, but it's about continuing. It's about rolling up your sleeves and looking at where where am I learning? Where do I need to adjust? What can I do differently? What can I get right that I could not see before? What maybe things are becoming more clear as you move forward, as you take risks, as you try things with Mars in Scorpio, saying, there's this deeper process of transformation going on. So, and Pluto now direct in Aquarius, also reminding us of this bigger vision moving forward. Uh, so much of it is your mindset and having that right attitude about what you care about, what matters to you, and being willing to live your life in a way that affirms what you care about and what matters to you, that vision for the future. So now with Pluto direct, we're going to start to see things move forward and clarify a little bit more, continuing this process. We have the rest of the outer planets still retrograde. So there's still an inward process going on, but part of it now shifts to things moving a little bit more in the outer world, especially when it comes to themes of truth and power and who has the power and what is the path of empowerment, and coming back to what is your mindset, what is your attitude, because that is where the power lies. So it's not, we're not, we're learning, and you get to learn and you get to make mistakes and you get to realize, oh, that maybe I could have done that differently. How can I think about it now to reframe that in terms of possibility? So that YOD, the moon moving through that YOD, just reminds us that there's some extra work here to be done, some extra attention to what it is we're learning, how we're growing, where we need to change, where we need to adjust. And that will help us on this incredible, amazing, creative journey into the future and transforming in the ways we need to transform to be who we need to be to create the future we want to live in, right? It's not all about what is happening outside of us. Some of it is, but some of it also is about what is happening on the inside. And there is where the learning process and the gifts really lie. So those are my thoughts for today. The moon will be in Virgo for at least a couple days here. And so we're going to be working with that energy of getting things right, of adjustment, fine tuning, perfecting, and looking at what could be better, how we can improve, and rolling up our sleeves, getting hands on to fix what needs to be fixed. All right. Thanks for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com. Learn more about me at my member site and some of the work I am doing with the evolutionary medicine from your chart, your lunar nodes. Learn more about that at transformationalastrology.com, where you can sign up as a free or supporting member to support this work and get notified of when all those videos are available and so much more. Thanks for being here and for subscribing to this YouTube channel. I will see you next time.